was going to quit my job. Then like the next, 2 days later, I was going to like buy the business. But we quit the job, put the notice in, and then the sale got delayed like a month. So I was unemployed for a month, and it was like, what did I just do?
Welcome to the Our Family Invest podcast, where we explore what happens when family, purpose, and entrepreneurship align. I'm Mike, a former Maui firefighter who reached financial freedom in just 5 years through real estate investing.
And I'm Caroline, a Maui-based realtor here to educate, empower, and elevate my clients to make smart real estate moves, whether right here at home or through my nationwide network.
Together, we're chasing our full potential as individuals, as a couple, and as a family. We're here to build a life that matters. And each week we share the stories of couples who inspire us to love harder, dream bigger, and grow bolder. So join us and let's learn, share, and grow together.
Today, we are excited to be joined by Luke and Morgan Hoffmann. Now, these two have built an incredible life by doubling down when most people would run. Luke quit his W-2, bought a failing business, and jumped into real estate all within the same month, only to spend the next year dealing with bad tenants, a fire, and more stress than he'd planned for. Now, they have 3 kids and no real safety net, so backing out was not an option. Somehow, instead of burning out, they built systems that let them leave for months at a time and worldschool their kids, all while continuing to grow their businesses back home. Guys, we're really excited to have you guys with us in the studio, so thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
And
Thank you.
Before we jump into all those things, I want to get to know who each of you are a little bit more. So let's start with Morgan. Maybe you can peel back the onion on Luke. Let us know who is the Luke Hoffmann that only you know. And then Luke, you can follow that up by telling us about Morgan. All right?
Let's do it.
All right. So,
Be nice.
of course.
Always nice.
This is Luke Hoffmann. He is an incredible dad, incredible husband, and entrepreneur through and through. He's the type of guy who goes all in, and if he's going to do something, he just goes all the way. So yeah, that's who he is.
I love it.
Yeah, Morgan, she is a sweetheart. She's super kind to everybody. Nicest person you'll ever meet. She's with her kids, she's a great mom. She can teach anybody anything, even when they're kicking and screaming and not enjoying it. But she's also really skilled at business as well. I mean, she's our anchor in our family on the home side, but on the business side. But together, we really merge it all together, and she brings a lot to the table.
I love that. I love that.
Okay, let's wind it back before business.
Mhm.
How did you two meet, and what was your first date like?
Do you want to share?
Well, we met in college, and we became really good friends. So it was I don't know what our first date was like,
We
but
were
I
friends
remember
for probably almost 2 years before we were even dating. So
Wow.
right
we knew each other at the friendship level for years in the friend zone.
in the friend zone. We had a big group of friends, but Luke and I were really close. And there was a couple of times he asked me out, and I was like, "Nope, sorry." And then
Persistence.
yeah, that's exactly right. And I remember when we started going down that road, I asked him, I don't want to date you if this is going to be just a whatever. If we're going to date, you need to be able to picture yourself marrying me. And I said that to him.
Wow.
I love
Basically on the first
Basically
date.
on the first date. I
Wow.
was like, are you going to marry me or what?
that. I love
Whoa.
that.
How'd you feel for that pressure, Luke?
It was a lot of pressure. I mean, the backstory to that though too is I wanted to date her for multiple years.
That's
She didn't realize I even liked her for multiple years. All of our friend group, they're all like, "Hey, you guys are dating," and I'm like, in my eyes, yeah, I could see that. And she's like, no, we're not dating. No way. We're just friends.
There's no ring on it.
We're just friends.
Oh, that's
So I was probably
worst.
further down that road of yeah, I can see that. We've already been dating for a while,
Yeah.
You were
Wow.
unofficially being courted. I like it.
I know.
Yeah.
So we literally spent every second together in college,
Mm-hmm.
similar classes, doing the homework together, eating together. We lived in the same dorm building. So we were 24/7 basically. Oh, what are we doing today?
Yeah.
I'll walk you to class and I'll go to class and
Yeah.
all that.
Nice.
Good foundation.
Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
All right. So you guys finally get married and finally start dating. And of course, you've decided to marry her
Yep.
probably years before this already, right? And you got on board with it. So that's good. So college is over. You guys both went to Harvard. We know that.
Yep.
No, you didn't go.
We actually have a
Did you go to Harvard?
No.
No.
Close. We have a
You can
local
lie.
community-
No one's listening.
Okay, yeah, we went to Harvard. We call the local community college Harvard on the highway.
Amazing.
So I mean, technically,
So
you're
there.
near it.
Yeah. We'll go with it. Awesome. All right. So you guys went to Harvard, you get married, and then you start a W-2 job,
Yep.
right? And so I know you were traveling a lot with the W-2. What did that time look like?
Yeah, so I did my W-2 for about 5 years, like just shy of that. And yeah, when I first started, it was like I did tech support for a little while, but then really quickly I was into like this implementation role. And so I would travel like Monday to Friday every single week somewhere in the United States, like 3 to 4 weeks a month. And like at the
Wow.
height of it, it was like there was multiple times I would be traveling and then I would fly somewhere to meet them for vacation for a week and then fly out of there to go back to work. So it was like, oh, I wasn't home for 2 months. Like I
Wow.
was traveling somewhere.
Yeah, you said 3 to 4 weeks in a month. There is only
Yeah.
4 weeks in a month.
That's what it was about. Like,
Wow.
So yeah, every week somewhere, in and out as quick as I could. And like,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I had a good time. It was fun. Like you see all the sights, you see all the things, but then after multiple years of that, it's like home life is like, just you're separate. We had one kid at the time, Lexi, and then like you're gone. So like hotels get old, airports get old, eating out every night gets old. So just like, all right, I'm good. Move on.
Yeah. So what was that point where you just decided like, hey, I've had enough? Like, was there a turning moment in there somewhere, or did it just evolve over time?
I don't know if I pinpoint to one moment, but it was the cool part was like when I traveled, I really only had to work 3 days a week, like in front of clients. The rest was just kind of like your Monday, you just have to get there. And so like whenever you leave, whatever works for your schedule, like we had flexibility to book our flights. So I would just read or listen to podcasts or whatever on the plane. So I was getting like paid to learn. And then like probably, I don't know, like halfway through that 5 years, I'd say, it kind of got that bug of like, all right, I want to do something else on my own. And so it was like, all right, now I'm going to be dedicated to like, let's read books, let's watch these videos or whatever it is on the plane. So then I was like reading a book a week, just like flying through stuff. All right, next, give me another one. Give me another one.
Yeah.
So it was super cool.
So, okay. And I'm trying to like go through this scenario with you. Then you find this failing business and you decided this was a good idea. I'm going to leave the W-2. I'm going to jump into this.
Yep.
And you know what? Let's buy some houses too, right at the same time. Can you like, how is this going all at once? And what did you think when he was talking about this?
Yeah. So a friend in our local area, we were, kind of both the same spot, like, hey, we want to do our own entrepreneurial thing. And so we were looking for real estate, I think was primarily, right, to start.
Yeah.
And like we did some of the Rich Dad, Poor Dad, like Kiyosaki courses and like just could never like get it off the ground and running. And so we're like, well, let's get a business. Like we'll get some income and then we can do that down the road. And so, yeah, we just were like, we found this business. It was actually our pastor's son-in-law. He lives in South Carolina. He sold bottle caps to this business because it was a chemical manufacturer. So they need caps for all the different stuff they sell. So he only sold to this company because his in-laws were in our town. So tax write-off, they come back for family and all that. And so he told us about it and we're like, oh, okay. So I just randomly called this guy up. He's like probably 75 at the time. I was like, hey, I hear you might be wanting to retire. Like, can I buy your business? He's like, we were just talking about that last week. Let's do it. Let's sit down and talk.
Wow.
And then, I don't know, a month or two later, it was like real. And we're like, oh, we're going to do this.
Did you know anything about what you were embarking on?
No. It was like cleaning products. So like
Absolutely.
all your all-purpose detergents, stuff like that. Yeah, I have no clue. Like my background's business, like from school, and like I was doing software stuff at the time, like totally different.
Were you hard to convince to be on board with this? And were you leaving the W-2 at the same time?
I left my W-2 for that.
Okay.
And the deal actually, we were supposed to leave in like, I think it was March or February. And like I was going to quit my job. Then like the next, 2 days later, I was going to like buy the business, right? But we quit the job, put the notice in, and then the sale got delayed like a month. So I was unemployed for a month and it was like, what did I just do?
Right.
What are we going to do here?
Wow. And so what did you see in the business that you thought like, hey, I can turn this around. I can make this from losing money to actually maybe making some money?
I think we thought we saw more than we actually did. I mean, we didn't know knowing what I know now, I'm like, wow, we had no clue what we were doing. Like looking at the P&Ls, like we were including stuff that shouldn't even be like one of our costs that we're going to add back, and like we were like, oh, that can be income to us. That's great. It'll pay for my salary. It'll pay for your salary. And those aren't realities, and then just, yeah, we just at the end of the day, we're like, we want to run a business. Like we're willing, we're young to like put in that effort. And
Sure.
see what happens. I mean, there was kind of almost that point of like our worst case scenario is I go back and get my job.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
And what year was this?
it was like 12 years ago. So
Okay.
22 or not 22,
Yeah.
02.
02. Wow.
No.
Sorry, Matt's not my why.
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
We won't ask you any more numbers questions.
24
Two plus two
Harvard on
minutes.
the highway. Got it.
Yeah. I'm really good at math.
We don't
18.
recommend Harvard.
Yeah. I don't know. It was like 12 years ago, whatever that is.
Okay.
So I'm curious on what your response was, because this was like a new venture, and I would see probably the attraction that he would be home more in theory, right?
In theory. Honestly, I don't think we realized how like bad the business was even failing.
Mhm.
And I had so much confidence in him that whatever he's going to do, it's going to be awesome.
Mhm.
And I was kind of learning alongside of him at that point with real estate and things. And I was excited about it as well. And just the flexibility that it could
Sure.
bring our family. And so in my mind, it was like, yeah, worst case scenario, we go back to work
Yeah.
and we get a
Sure.
job.
Yeah.
Like that's honestly the scariest thing.
Yeah.
And so
Which I
let's
had,
just
sorry to interrupt you, but like I had a great relationship with my W-2. Like I was flying up the ladder. Like I actually, the week before I put my 2 weeks in, they were going to promote me to like the C-suite. I went from, I started at 42 grand. I was like over 100 grand when I quit. And it was like the highest paid like trajectory, like in the company. And they're like, we want to give you a promotion. We're going to talk next week. I'm like,
About that.
like to the point when I put my notice in, like the CEO left whatever meeting he was in and like came and found me. He's like, hey, what's going on? Like, what's going to take to get you to get here? Like, what can we do to stay? And so like falling back to the W-2 was like, yeah, they'll rehire me for sure.
Yeah. And when you're getting started, you don't know what you don't know.
Totally. That's the blessing and the
So it
curse
was
at the
kind of
same
like
time.
a lot of, we were just naive.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so you bought the business, hoping that this would be your like financial freedom ticket. You're going to be self-employed entrepreneurs, but you also decided to jump into real estate at the same time.
Yeah.
How and why?
Craigslist.
When it was not all a scam.
Right.
Oh, you got to
Okay.
unpack.
Yeah.
So like actually I met the guy that I bought these properties. He had a Craigslist ad. Like at the time you could find real estate deals on
Sure.
Craigslist. So I'm like talking to him. I walked a couple properties of his and they weren't for me. But then I just, that guy, I just clicked with him. And he's like, I think I got a property I'll sell you. So we ended up buying a duplex and a fourplex as a package. And he basically gave it to us. He was like, hey, here's how we're going to do it. You're going to go to the bank, get a loan for 80%, and I'll finance the 20% down.
Yeah.
You'll come with no money. You get the property. I get most of my money. It's a win for everybody. And I'm like, yeah, sounds great. Had no clue like what the numbers, I mean, I knew how to underwrite, but like not to what is today. And like we went to closing and like the whole like where you get prorated taxes back at closing. I like walked down and I had a check for like a couple $1,000. I'm like, I don't know why they gave me money, but like I got paid to buy these. Like, sweet.
That's amazing.
That
I don't understand it, but okay.
Yeah.
and those penciled.
Yeah, they penciled. I mean, the bank was cool with it and like they underwrote it. And I had a relationship kind of working that direction with the bank. But I mean, he was super cool about like, I'm like, I think this works. Like run the numbers for me. And he just did it. He's like, yeah, I mean, it's a good deal for you. Like, and we did some stuff with like the amortization, to when the seller finance note expired to make sure I would have enough equity, like some worst case scenarios. And
Sure.
I mean, they helped me through all that. I had no clue what I was doing.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, you want me to sign here? Let's sign. Let's do it.
Wow.
Amazing.
That's awesome.
Again, blind faith and like didn't really know what I was doing.
Yeah.
Right. So, and this is around that same time, right? 12 years ago, 2002. Actually, our mathematicians have come back and they said it's 2014.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
roughly.
Makes more sense. Because I graduated high school in 08. So that was
That's awesome. Okay, so you're buying houses now and you're starting to see cash flow from them. Are you getting them rented? Right? So, and then what? Do you start buying more properties or like focusing on the manufacturing or like what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, the first year was rough, like lots and lots of business hours, for the business. And then the properties, like they ran fine for a little while. I forget when, but like at some point we had a tenant, like somebody moved out. So there's a rehab. And then we had like a bad tenant. And then we had a fire in one of them, like a kitchen grease fire. And then it just like, it all stacks up.
Sure.
Like, oh, I can deal with this. Well, that's a little bit more. Oh, wow. We're in trouble.
Yeah.
And I remember just like working both ends of the, get up super early, go work on the business and be like, all right, 7 p.m. Let me go work on the property now and rehab it till whatever, 10, 11 o'clock and let's do it again.
Yeah.
Did you have experience in construction prior?
No.
So like YouTube University.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how we started.
My dad was handy and like I grew up not in construction, like he was an engineer, but like he built his garage and like I remember as a kid helping him, but like that stuff comes easy to me, but I had no formal training for sure.
Amazing.
And like I couldn't tell you that studs were 16 on center at that point. It was just like, yeah, there's wood behind the wall somewhere. Sure.
Wow.
We'll go with that.
Yeah. So now are you buying more houses as you continue to start seeing like, hey, the rents are paying the mortgage and whatnot? Like how's that going? Are you buying a lot or are you buying just a couple here and there?
Yeah, at that point, the first year we didn't buy anything else because we were just drowning, honestly. It was like year two. We kind of got that.
And we weren't taking a salary because the business couldn't support it. And so we had started with like 12 grand in the bank when we quit our job or when he quit his job. And we were just living on that 12 grand.
Wow.
And just like scale everything back, bare bones, get rid of our car payments, get rid of anything, bare bones groceries, like everything. And so, for the first at least year, might have been 2.
Wow. But then, we got to that point where it was just kind of like, this is terrible. Like, this is not a fun situation. So like, either we need to sell the properties and just call it what it is and like start over or quit real estate, whatever, or like jump in and just do it. And like, we had gone through the courses and like Kiyosaki trainings and stuff. So like, I knew it would work. It's just a matter of to get to that point of it working and like, is it the right time or whatever with the business? But after about a year or so, we were like, let's just do it. Like, let's just jump in. And so then we set like backed into our goals, like, hey, we want 10,000 a month cash flow. What does that look like for a unit count? And then like across a 5-year, 10-year, like we divided it out. I think the number is 14 doors is kind of our original, like if we just bought 14 a year, we'll get there. Like, cool.
Yeah.
And so, we started like, it was about, I think year 2.5, something like that. We bought like the 14 and then we bought the 14 again. So like it was like 2 or 3 years where we like doubled in size.
Wow.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I exited the business kind of that same time as well. But
so, okay. And I'm going back because I'm trying to remember previous conversations that you and I have had.
Yeah.
And for anybody that's actually watching this video right now, your tans are not local Maui tans. I mean, they are now,
right.
But you guys live in Iowa.
We do.
Right. So it's easier probably to buy 14 homes in Iowa than it is here on Maui. But I also remember, like, did you still have this manufacturing company at the same time COVID happened? Because I remember there was a pivot there with something else that you were doing. Was that was a different company?
Yeah, it was a different business. So part of my exit, we had a online business as well with the chemical that was sold like paper towels. And so I took that business as part of my payout, if you will. So that was what in the COVID times I still had that.
And the other partner took the physical.
He took the chemical manufacturing side and like all that stuff and the assets, if you will.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So when things are going really sideways, with like what was happening in those early years, how do you kind of keep that barrier from not seeping into your home life?
Yeah, we were kind of chit-chatting a little bit about stuff like that, just, today versus then and all that recently. And like, I think at that point, I got to the point towards the end of the business before we sold out, where just like, I'm overwhelmed. I just need to like shut off. So there got to, I don't remember when exactly, but it was like, whatever time I got home, 5, 6 o'clock, it was like, I'm done. Like, I'm turning my phone, I didn't turn it off, but like, I'm not answering any more business stuff.
Yeah.
Like, just walking away from it. And like, that really helped. Just like, we need to draw a line in the sand somewhere. Like, there's got to be personal time.
Yeah.
And family time and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you kind of shoulder that stress? Because that's still a lot going on. You're jumping into things that you don't know or understand.
Yeah.
And now managing other tenants too.
Yes.
And their problems.
And their problems.
Yes. Therapy, all the things.
Yes. Honestly, a lot of prayer.
Yeah.
And, going to the Lord, are we doing the right thing? And getting a piece from him, like, okay, just, stick it out and being on the same page, like knowing that what we're working towards makes it a lot easier to go through it. When you're like, we're on our way. It's just like hard in the process, but like knowing that there's going to be an other side at some point.
Yeah.
So I think just keeping that in perspective.
Sure.
Even though it's not fun to go through in the moment.
Yeah.
And you guys
It's
know
really
for
hard.
real estate too, like you're not necessarily making the money like today.
No.
It's a 5, 10, 20 year type picture. You have to really keep in focus. And like, I think we were really good at that of like, we're making $100 here and $100 there, but like, it's going to be worth it. Like, just give me 10 years, like stick with it for a minute.
Which
is
a long game.
That's
and I
really
will
hard
say,
in the moment.
Like, I think Luke is a very disciplined person.
Yeah.
I should have put that in our intro.
Yeah.
He's very disciplined. And so he made the decision, like, I'm not going to go on my phone, no business thing. So then he could just be home when he was home. I think that was really healthy. But also, we're not going to actually take any of the money. Like, even if it's small, we're not going to touch any of that. We're going to live some other way, and we're going to take that money and reinvest and reinvest and reinvest.
Yeah, which is hard to do.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've done it's Robin, Simon budget, right? Where you're like, okay, in 6 months, we need to buy another property because we need to be able to continue. And we're not pulling it out because it is going to another down payment. Yeah. So, okay. So there was a Bigger Pockets phone call. Can you take us to that and how that kind of changed your trajectory as well?
Sure. Yeah, so I was a Bigger Pockets junkie for sure, like for many, many years with Brandon and the podcast and all that. And so just listening, there was like, I think there's still like an ad or something like, hey, we emailed this if you want to like get on our call-in show. Like if you got a question about what you got going. So I'm like, oh, cool. I want to be on the show. I want to talk to Brandon. Like, sounds cool, And so I don't even know what I put in there. I think it was just like, I think at the time we had like 40-ish doors or 35 doors. And I was like, I want to grow. Like, what's my next step? That type of question. And I got on. I was like, "Oh wait, this is cool. Like, this is this is like how I learned my whole career. Almost. So it's like a pivotal moment." And we got on the call with Brandon. Like, he gave me great advice. Like, you need to scale up. Essentially, was the answer. Like, you're in that no man's land of like, you don't have enough money. You're not making enough. But like, to get there, you got to go. Just do it. But then, I mean, that was valuable in the like strategically. But like, then he was after the call. We're just sitting around talking over the webcam, and he's like, "Hey, dude, I have a mastermind. I'm going to start, and I'm doing it in like 2 weeks or something, or 3 weeks down the road. Like, you should totally come. You'd fit that model what we're doing." I'm like, sold. Like, I'll be there. I was like, basically told him that I went home like, yeah, I'm going to Maui in 2 weeks.
Had you ever been here before?
No.
Wow.
No, but I'm used to traveling, so I was like, oh, sweet, I'll go to Maui. That sounds great. Like, I love travel.
Yeah.
And she's like, wait, what? And it costs this much? What?
I know.
Like, I'm like, I think it'll be worth it, And it was an investment for us for sure.
Yeah,
at the time.
100%.
It was.
Yeah.
But like looking back now, it's like being different masterminds and like things we've been part of. Like every dollar I spend on myself and our business, like it's an easy return. Like I know I put $1 in, I'm going to get whatever back, and there's a return there every single time.
Hey family, real quick. If you'd rather watch your content, head over to Our Family Invests on YouTube. You'll find this episode and all our episodes over there. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your takeaways in the comments. Now, back to the show.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be sitting here without it.
Right.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have met. And
Right.
I think that is one of the things, and you might still be in the same kind of what do we do next to scale, because we're stuck in this no man's land of like, we're doing okay and long-term game, we're okay. But what do we do in the meantime? And how do we not lose our minds working on the business, in the business 24/7, right?
And we're entrepreneurs. So we always wanted to go faster,
Right.
no matter how fast it's
Right.
Right.
fast enough.
Yeah. There's very few people that get into real estate and just tell their spouse, give me 10 years
Right.
and we'll have a return. Like that. Most people wouldn't stick with that. Right. But let's go back to that Maui Mastermind, because that's where you and I met. How did that change your business and the way that you approached your business?
Yeah, I think it really just more so opened my eyes. Like tactically, I don't think that first one gave me like, I'm going to do this in my business, like implement this software necessarily. That came later. But like the first one was more of like a mindset and vision. I mean, I'm a small town Iowa boy. Like there's not too many people in my local circle at that time, especially, that were like doing big things. So it was like, I guess you just buy a couple houses. You're like, that's the biggest vision I could see. And like, yeah, we'll get to a point where we have enough money to live off and all that. But then you go to these groups and it's like, people like Brandon, he's like buying these huge apartments, and other guys in the group that are like buying these massive things and like talking in tens and hundreds of millions of dollars. And I'm like, I just bought a house for 40 grand yesterday. It's like, that's not even in my reach. In my mind, it was just like, there's no way.
Yeah.
But being in those rooms, it just like pivoted like, there is a way. Like, if they can do it, I could do it. It's going to look different in my market probably, and like what I want. And then just like watching them, how they all ran their different lives, and what their life looked like,
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh wow, I can actually like design my life and design the business to like what I want.
Yeah.
There's no rules.
That's
basically.
Yeah.
That's 100% correct. And, that's a good segue because I do want to talk about that. You guys have designed your lives incredibly and very intentionally, right? You travel a lot. You let your business run. Your business is running right now. You've been out here for a month already, right? And this is not like a one-off trip. You travel a lot every single year. How did you get to the point where you were like, I'm going to let the business grow at the business's pace, but I'm going to start designing the life that I want to live and make the business work for that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you can jump in it anywhere too, but one of the biggest things was I went to Tarl Yarber's like little 2-day session in Austin a few years back, and like he ran a sauna, and that's like my bread and butter now in our business. But like putting in an actual backbone to the business overall, like structure and that project management piece, that like honestly probably changed everything, I would say, because it got out of my head and got it somewhere where other people could interact with it. And so like that allowed us to, hey, let's try this. Let's leave. Like the first year we left, this is our 6th winter now, like leaving for like 2 to 3 months at a time, and then other trips during the year. But like the first winter we left, I was like, we'll see what breaks. I don't know. We went to Florida for 3 months. I was like, my worst case scenario is a $200 plane ticket. I can be home tomorrow afternoon. Like that's the worst case. And you guys can be in Florida, and like I'll go back for a week, figure out what's going on, decide if you need to come home or I can come back. Like that was our worst case. So like, what do we have to lose? Let's just try it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people thought we were like nuts.
Yeah.
Like family bankers are like, wait, what?
Well, and the other thing is like a lot of real estate investors in particular, they're so focused on door count and things like that, right? And grow at all costs kind of mentality. What made you resist that and go with the let's build our lives the way that we want instead of growing to 10,000 doors?
Yeah, I think there was probably some influence from the masterminds of, not necessarily in a bad way, but like just looking at other people's lives and like, I want this, but I don't want that. And like picking what I want and like realizing what I actually wanted, to the point where we could have conversations of like, 10,000 was our original number per month. It's like, so if we hit that, are we done? Or like, what does that even mean? What's the next step beyond that? And like, what do we want in our family? What do we want in relationships with us and our kids? Like, what does that all look like? And so just having the capacity to like talk through that and think through it.
And having the eyes, the mindset to be able to even think like that beyond what is the next step, and have that vision, which is, I think a lot of people who are new are afraid to invest in learning or the mindset or the coaching. But honestly, that is what has gotten us to continuous new levels. Because you're just around a different type of people speaking a language that we've never heard or we've never learned before. And so, I appreciate that.
I felt like we had our business. We've had this conversation multiple times. Like we're hitting a plateau, like growth. All of a sudden we'd hit it. I could feel it. I'm like, I'm stuck. I don't know what's going on. But like, we were just at another one of those plateau moments, I think. Just like, where are we going here? And just with the masterminds and the plateau and like all the stuff hit at the same time. It just like gave us that space to like, oh, we're going to go this way and take off.
And I think there's something too where it's like, well, we have to take a moment and breathe and realize why we got into real estate. Because most people that I know that have gotten into real estate aren't because they love real estate. It's because it's a how. How do we get to our why? Right? And then you got to step back and like, well, what is your why? And what is the why of the why? Right. And so when you start breaking that all down, it's like, a lot of people are like you, where it's like, I want to have more time with my family, and not just more time with my family. I want to create experiences with them, and I want to travel, and I want to see this, and I wanted the things, right? That's the why of the why.
Right.
Don't ever lose sight of that. Otherwise, you may be 65 years old before you stop and remember why you got into this. Right. So I really like the fact that you guys are designing your lives first and not the business.
Yeah, and continuing to grow. It's not like you're stopping the growth or the business. So for people who have, blood, sweat, and tears, YouTube University, have built the business, but they're drowning, what is maybe one thing you would tell them to look at to start buying back their time?
Mm.
Do you want to start?
You can go.
I mean, I think they probably need to first, like, I think felt like in that question, a lot of people always are like, you should hire a VA. And like, I tried that. And it just wasn't the right answer for me. I think honestly, to me, the answer would probably be spend a little bit of your money and reinvest in yourself. Like go learn something, like go to a mastermind or a training conference, whatever it is. And like take a moment, hit pause on everything and reflect and like, see where you're going. And then from there, you have direction you can go at that point.
And probably better circle of support than maybe you had just in your home office.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, most of our friends anymore in our friend circle is like, there's a few local that we talk to and hang out with all the time, but like majority are all like, like you guys are like for whatever, 3, 4, 5,000 miles away. But like we talk to these people all the time now. And like, but they're all operating at different levels. Like you got to find your crew and your people.
Yeah, 100%. Okay. Shifting to kiddos, homeschooling, worldschooling now.
Yeah.
So, what made you go into that? And what is one of the hardest things in homeschooling and maybe one of the greatest misconceptions that you hear?
Yeah. I think the biggest misconception that I hear all the time is I could never do that. I could never do that. Oh, I could never do that. I couldn't be home with my kids. I couldn't teach them all the things. And I think, and we're 6 years in now too with homeschooling. And so it looks a lot different now, even than when we started, because you learn so much along the way. And what I'm not trying to do is recreate the public school at home. So I think that's
which is what I pushed at the first. Like, well, we got to have a curriculum. We got to have every subject. Like, I'm trying to translate it to home.
Right.
And she's like, no, what are you doing?
It wasn't that bad. And so I think it's freeing to know your kid's education can look a lot of different ways, and it actually doesn't have to look like what we traditionally think is education. I think home education, that's the beauty of it, is there's so much freedom. What do you want to learn about? You can actually learn all of these skills and all of these different concepts in so many different ways. And homeschooling allows you to kind of cater that to each individual child.
So I love that. And I love, we know your kids. They're amazing. They're independent. They're free thinkers. I love when our son, Nico, interacts with them because I feel like he's picking up some of that too. And I think we've had a lot of those same concerns, like, oh, we couldn't do it. But
and it can be scary. So I get that. I'm not condemning anyone who feels like that.
But what do you say to like, well, I don't know what my kid wants to learn. My kid wants to learn about Fortnite.
Great.
Right. So like, how do you integrate that or something from that? Because like, I'm helping Nico with his homework on a regular basis and we're learning about scaling triangles. And I'm telling him like, I don't know. I have to look it up too. I'm Googling this thing.
Right.
Yeah.
You'll probably never have to use this, but you got to know it for 4th grade.
Sure.
So here's an isosceles. Here's a scaling. Let's look at the difference. Right. But it's not something that is probably going to be super useful down the road.
In those types of situations, I'm always communicating to the children, like, it's not necessarily even the information that you're learning, but you want to be able to build those skills of how to learn. Is like how to gather that information and use it. Like, we didn't know anything,
Every time they ask me questions for help, I'm like,
you're like,
ChatGPT, what is this?
If you can instill in them, like, it's more valuable that you're learning how to learn and how to go get that information, and then the sky's the limit. I mean, there is no limit because you're building those muscles, and when even if you're learning things that you're not necessarily going to use, you're still building like neural pathways in your brain of doing hard things and accomplishing things. It's still good and beneficial. But I think there's a lot of freedom in homeschooling that you can cater it towards things that they are interested in.
Like Fortnite.
Right. I mean, honestly, you could use anything and bring it in, or maybe not necessarily like on video games or something like that, but using even the characters makes it more interesting for them to learn different things. And you can decide what you actually want to educate them in.
Yeah.
Sure. Can I interrupt for a second? Share a little bit. We were talking about Lexi with like math and algebra, going more levels versus like
Mm-hmm.
staying at like only schooling up to a certain point in math,
Sure.
and then like the business and stuff we were kind of just last week talking through.
Yeah. I'm just kind of in that. I'm like, Lexi she's in 8th grade. She's going to be in 9th grade. And so I'm like really thinking through what's going to set her up for success. And so we've been having these conversations. She absolutely hates math, like hates it. And so I'm just thinking through like what's actually important for her to know. How deep do we really need to go? Because you can be in public school and you can actually graduate if you're even at just like an algebra level. But if you are good at math, they push you into higher levels.
To like
if you're not
altitude trig
good,
and all that stuff.
yeah. And if you're not good at math, then you're typically in a lower math. Like once you're in high school, or at least this is how it was when I was in school.
At Harvard.
And even pre-college, like in high school, just to graduate, like you could be in just like algebra as a senior and graduate.
Okay.
Like as long as you had your credits in math, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm just deciding, like, is it important for her to take like the next level of math, or would it be more beneficial for her to start a business and learn like bookkeeping and accounting and how to run things like your cash flow and be able to calculate those types of things and just do math in a different way?
Gosh. I mean,
and she's interested in it, so that helps too.
So
she wants
with
to.
like a baking business, right? For
100%.
example. So question with that, then how do you make sure that the state requirements, like for the tangible, are met?
So it depends on what state you live in.
Okay.
Because Iowa, like I don't have to report anything to the state of Iowa. You can, but you don't have to. So you have to look at what your individual state laws are.
Got it.
But you can document different things. Like if you are baking a cake, you can document that as home ec. You can document it as math because you're working with fractions and doubling things and all whatever. And you can like basically that one thing could be a lot, and science, how it all interacts with each other. So it could be a lot of different things, even though you're just baking a cake.
Right. Did you have a background in teaching before taking on teaching the kids?
No, I never wanted to stay home. never thought I would ever see myself homeschooling at all.
She was a finance major.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
She's the number lady.
Yeah.
Clearly.
So yeah, I never wanted to. It just was like we got to the point where we're paying for childcare, you're paying for private schooling, and you're like, wow, we're paying all this money for someone else to be with our kids that I miss them. Like, you know, as you have kids, like your heart just kind of changes.
And then that you're bringing home is like pennies, and it's like
is this worth it?
Kid and not make an extra whatever $4 an hour. Like sweet.
And I wasn't loving our education, like what I was seeing come home and things that I was dealing with where they were going. And there wasn't really great options for me other than that in our area. So we were just talking about it, praying about it, and then I ended up staying home. So staying home, then that was when the kids were like littler, and I think just Lexi was in school at that point. And then a couple of years went by, and then we started homeschooling.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So looking back now, pros and cons of homeschooling. Like, I'm sure it's not all rainbows and unicorns, right?
Yeah.
So who is it for? Who's it not for?
I don't think it's ever not for anybody because I love it so much now.
Wow.
If you if you lack all discipline, it's not for you because you have to make your kids like do something every day. So if you are not disciplined, it's probably not for you. But I think it's for everybody else.
Wow.
Like, I just think it's so great.
Even you.
I think
she's not
even you.
Totally.
Yep.
And there's so many options. Like you could even do online curriculums where it's all accredited and they can even graduate with like a regular high school diploma and things.
Wow.
So it's come so far. It's come so far, and there's so many options. You can have curriculums that are open and go. Pros, you get to be with your kids all day, and that's also a con. It's all day because sometimes you just want a break. But
But you have
But you
flexibility.
have
I mean, that's how we travel,
flexibility. You
right?
can
I mean, so we get
travel,
flexibility
do
there.
all the things.
You
You
get to
know
teach
what
them
they're
your morals
learning.
and all the stuff you believe in, care about, all that stuff.
You're seeing them overcome hard things,
Mhm.
and like you get to experience those wins with them,
Yeah.
and it's special.
Yeah.
What is your balance between flexibility
Mhm.
and a schedule for
Yeah.
getting things accomplished with them? Like,
Um,
we're going to actually sleep in for the next 5 days.
yeah. It kind of depends on the season that we're in. If I know that I'm needed a lot more, like in the business stuff, then it's more of a flexibility thing.
Okay.
If we're home and we could just be in a good routine, honestly, it's so good for them to just like wake up, know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
We get it all done, and then they have the rest of the day. Because we do pretty bare bones like book work.
Mhm.
And then
It's like 2 to 3 hours
Yeah.
probably a day.
Mhm.
Yeah. I've heard
Lexi's
that.
is 3, is a solid 3.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the cool
But-
part is like you're not trying to go to a public school that's like 8 to 3 or something. Like
Yeah.
there's been many times Saturday mornings they're doing school or like
Yes.
they want to wake up early and we're like sit down in the living room. They'll
Mhm.
like come to school at 6 a.m. and they're done by 8 or
Yeah.
9,
Right.
you know, and
Right.
Yeah.
they check the box. They're
Mm-hmm.
like, all right, go play, do
Yeah.
whatever you want.
Yeah. So I know one of the
Great.
hangups that I hear a lot of why people don't do the homeschooling, I'm sure you've heard this a million times, is, oh, well, they don't get the social interaction.
Oh,
What do you
sure.
say about that?
I say there's so many other opportunities for social interaction. Church, sports, living life,
Yeah.
you know. I mean, I don't know any other environment that you are ever going to be in another spot where everybody's the same age learning the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Like nowhere else in life is that even applicable. So our kids can have full conversations with adults. They can look you in the eye. They can order their own food at restaurants.
Yeah.
Which comes from
I mean,
a lot of the traveling. Like you
yeah.
gotta grow up a little bit, you know, like
Mhm.
Sure.
and then like they come to job sites with me all the time and like our kids can run heavy equipment and stuff. Like they learn those different skills, but like they're interacting with our crew that works
Right.
for us and like
Mhm.
not just like, oh, shying away in the corner. They'll be like, hey, we need a piece of trim here. My dad said he needs it cut to this. Can you do that? And they'll like bring me the piece of trim or something, you know, like they can have that level of a conversation.
That's amazing.
And I mean, the people that work for us, they're super nice. Like they enjoy being around the kids too. So like there's a good relationship there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's not like, get out of here,
Yeah.
kid, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, they learn some of the socialization from that. And then
Right.
she goes to co-ops and things. With
Yeah, we do
younger
have a
kids
co-op.
and-
We meet once a week. So they're with a group of kids, and we kind of do more of a school type of approach where they're doing like a lot of history and science and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. All right. Let's take a step back. Let's zoom out a little bit.
Mhm.
And let's imagine that we are sitting here again in
Mhm.
10 years.
Whew.
Okay. What does your portfolio look like at that point? What does your life look like at that point?
Anything right off the top?
Honestly, right off the top, I think more of the same. Like we're getting into homesteading. We have chickens. Like I'm imagining we probably have more animals. The kids are probably learning a lot more of those like hands-on type of skills. We're getting into building and development. So we're probably doing more of that because it's been really fun learning how to do that.
Yeah.
And I've really been enjoying the process.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, we've in the last year switched to more development, new construction, build to rent stuff. And like, I really enjoy it too. So like,
Mhm.
I see just kind of continue down that road and probably be bigger properties, I would say, than like single families. But it's funny, like I was just talking to a friend, maybe you as well, about this. Like everywhere we leave, it's always like, I'm going to slow down and like, we actually get busier, but like my time gets freer
Mhm.
almost. Cause like we systematize them. Like we were talking about this like next year coming up, like we'll probably build 10 to 12 houses. And like in my mind, I look at that as like, well, yeah, but we're like not doing anything this summer. Like it's fine. We're basically slow. And like, I have all this free time, but like we're doing more than most people are.
Right.
And on average. And like, I don't know, just like the busier we get, the easier it feels sometimes.
Mm.
What's that? What was that saying where like scaling from 1 to 10, but where it's so much easier to 10x than to double?
Yeah.
Yeah.
10x
Like
is
2x.
easier than 2x,
Yeah.
2x,
right?
yeah.
That whole
Mhm.
concept. Yeah.
I think we see a lot of that. And historically, I think that moving forward would be very true.
Yeah. I like that.
And it'll be different with the kids. I mean, 10 years with the kids, 14, 10, and 8.
Oh
you know, like,
man.
it's a whole different
24,
dynamic.
20,
Probably married out.
18.
Yeah.
Like you might not even have kids at the house anymore.
Oh my gosh, maybe we're traveling.
I'm traveling.
You're 9
I'm
months
just
off.
kidding.
9 months travel.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Wow. All right, guys. Well, we'll start wrapping it up here. But before we do, we have 4 questions that we'd like to ask all of our guests that come on. So I'm going to ask you guys this. And I'll start with this one. Who or what has inspired you most along your journey?
I think for me, it's going back to the masterminds, like not necessarily a specific person, but like that probably the original group, just like they inspired me to change how I look at the life and business and in general.
Yeah. Yeah. What about you, Morgan?
Oh man. I don't know if I have a good answer for this. I feel like I've kind of been along for the ride. I've just always believed in Luke to do all the things. And I'm just like, what do you need me to do?
Yeah.
And I'll help us get there.
Luke's a very easy person to believe in, I think, because he just emits this energy of like, yep, I can handle it.
He does have that.
And Morgan is a dynamo. Like, you're like jumping in. You can do all the things. You're so hands-on and intentional, but so loving along the way, which is great to
we
witness.
joke that she's my assistant sometimes, like, because if there's anything that like I don't want to do
that's
or
true.
just needs to get done, like we don't have a somebody to do it. I'm like, take care of this.
There you go.
Just do
And
it.
she does.
Yeah, like we bought our storage unit facility. Like the day we closed, her like, where's the phone gonna ring to? I'm like, you. She's like, answer the phone. Like, yeah, we have storage units. Yeah, we do this.
They're available.
Yeah, he's
Right.
like, can
Our
you
policy is this.
answer the phones? I'm like, what? On a storage unit? I'm like, sure. I'm like, yes, this is our policy. Right, babe?
I don't know, make it up.
I love that. I love that. So this next question is almost unapplicable to you two because you are 2 of the most calm, peaceful people that I know. But the question is, how do you find peace?
Go ahead.
The Lord. Find peace in the Lord. I think being intentional of those times where you are feeling stressed out or overwhelmed, doing something that actually nourishes your soul, not just like doom scrolling or watching a movie or something, unless that's like really what you need, but something that actually is fulfilling for you.
Yeah.
Because when you can just get filled up again.
Yeah.
So whether that's like just going outside, playing a sport, playing the piano, singing, whatever that is, like just get refilled.
I love it.
I think mine's probably like my 4 a.m. I'm a 4 a.m. guy every day for like 10 plus years. And that time, like if I don't, like even when we travel, even on like weekends, I still get up at 4 and just like do my thing, like give my little morning routine, check my boxes and like I set for the day. Like if I don't do that, like when we're traveling, like on like the travel day, I just kind of like, what's going on? Like, am I missing something? I forget something. It's like, I don't want to say anxious, but like kind of that, like, I'm missing something here.
Yeah.
It's like, that brings me peace. Just like, all right, that's my one structure for the day.
Yeah.
And anybody that knows me is beaches too.
That's true. That's true. Beach in the sun.
If you could sit with your younger selves for just a moment, what's one thing you would tell them?
You're crazy.
I would say, yeah, right. You do not know what you're doing. I think I would say it's worth it. Like the risk is worth it. The hard work, it's worth it. The sacrifice that you have to go through, it's worth it. And put in the work.
Yeah, I'd probably say invest back in yourself like sooner. It took me 5-6 years to kind of get to that point.
Right.
And because I didn't have the money or didn't.
Sure.
I'm focused. I'm going to do this thing. And like, I think often it's like, if I would have started that year 1, even like in baby step mode, like we'd be way, way further ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's money well spent always on yourself, education.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. What is one thing that you've learned recently that made you kind of stop, think, breathe a little bit, and maybe just see life differently?
Go ahead. I'll put that on you.
Recently, I've just been thinking about how old Lexi is. And like our time with our kids is like so short that they're little. And so I've really been just trying to make the most of it and just embrace that time that we have together with them under our roof.
I love that.
So
I kind of had the epiphany probably a month or 2 ago. It was like almost like we we grew up, we're actually business owners now. Like, I felt like all these years, like we've done it and we are, but like, just like it clicked the other day, like when we switched to development and like my systems were working, like I was talking to my foreman this morning on the phone, like we talk once a week and I get like the full rundown of the business, what's going on. I'm like, we're like legit. Like
I love
people
that.
run it for us. This is cool.
Yeah.
Like that was my epiphany. I'm like, wow, like
The
we've come
get
a
to
long
the
ways.
gain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
It's just fun.
I'm glad that you took a moment to realize and celebrate that, because
Okay.
so many people miss that.
Yeah.
And you have put in the blood, sweat, and tears. And like, that's something to be proud of.
Yeah.
And also to just like keep you reinvigorated. It's okay to celebrate those wins.
Yeah.
Thank you both so much
Yes.
for being with us, for flying to Maui, spending time with us. And if our audience wants to connect with you or learn more about development or homeschooling, where can they find you?
Probably easiest to be on Instagram.
Yeah.
Luke Hoffmann 42.
Perfect.
Just, I'm sure put it in the notes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Awesome.
I mean, I'd love to help people.
Sweet.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, you guys, thank you again. We really appreciate you guys coming on here and spending a little time with us.
Yeah, that was fun. Appreciate it.
Thanks for being part of the family today. If you want a closer look at our journey through real life, business, and all the wild adventures, follow us on Instagram at Our Family Invest. And for free resources to help you on your own path, head to ourfamilyinvest.com.
If you like this episode, send it to a friend. And if you're feeling extra generous, drop us a quick review. It really helps us grow this community. Thank you so much for being part of our family today. We really, truly appreciate you.